Keenagh, Templeport. Keenagh, from Irish Caonach, meaning a mossy place, is a townland in the civil parish of Templeport, County Cavan, Ireland. It lies in the Roman Catholic parish of Templeport and barony of Tullyhaw. Geography. Keenagh is bounded on the north by Kilsalog and Munluff North townlands, on the west by Core, Templeport townland, on the south by Lissanover townland, and on the east by Munluff South townland. Its chief geographical features are a wood, a stream, and a dug well. Keenagh is traversed by minor public roads and rural lanes. The townland covers 62 statute acres. History. The 1609 baronial map depicts the townland as Caonach. The 1652 Commonwealth Survey spells the name as Keenagh. The 1665 Down Survey map depicts it as Nuff. Keenagh formed part of the Termin or hospital lands belonging to Templeport Church, and so its history belongs to the ecclesiastical history of the parish. It would have belonged to the parish priest and the Caonach family rather than the McGovern chief. In the 16th century these ecclesiastical lands in Templeport were seized in the course of the Reformation in Ireland, and kept first by the English monarch, and then eventually granted to the Anglican Bishop of Kilmore. An inquisition held in Cavan town on 20 June 1588 valued the total vicarage of Templeport at P10. An inquisition held in Cavan town on 19 September 1590 found the Termin or hospital lands of Templeport to consist of 4 poles of land at a yearly value of 4 shillings. Keenagh was one of these 4 poles. By grant dated 6 March 1605, along with other lands, King James VI and I granted a lease of the farm, Termins or hospitals of Templeport containing 4 poles for 21 years, at an annual rent of 10 shillings to Sir Garrett Moore, 1st Viscount Moore. Keenagh was one of these poles. By grant dated 10 August 1607, along with other lands, King James VI and I granted a further lease of the farms, Termins or hospitals of Templeport containing 2 poles for 21 years, at an annual rent of 13 shillings to the aforesaid Sir Garrett Moore, 1st Viscount Moore of Mellifont Abbey, County Louth. This grant covered the 2 extra poles of ecclesiastical land in the parish which had been overlooked in the previous inquisitions and grants. A survey held by Sir John Davies Poet at Cavan town on 6 September 1608 stated that the ecclesiastical lands of Templeport were containing 6 poles lying near the parish church, and that the rectory was appropriated to the Abbey of Kells, County Meath. Keenagh was one of these poles. An inquisition held in Cavan town on 25 September 1609 found the Termin land of Templeport to consist of 6 poles of land, out of which the Bishop of Kilmore was entitled to a rent of 10 shillings and 2/3 of a beef per annum. Keenagh was one of these 6 poles. The Inquisition then granted the lands to the Protestant Bishop of Kilmore. By a deed dated 6 April 1612, Robert Draper, the Anglican Bishop of Kilmore, and Ardagh granted a joint lease of 60 years over the Termins or Caonach of, inter alia, 6 poles in Templeport to Oliver Lambart, 1st Lord Lambart, Baron of Cavan, of Kilbeggan, County Westmeath, and Sir Garrett Moore, 1st Viscount Moore, of Mellifont Abbey, County Louth. Keenagh formed part of this lease. By deed dated 17 July 1639, William Bedell, the Anglican Bishop of Kilmore, extended the above lease of Templeport to Oliver Lambert's son, Charles Lambart, 1st Earl of Cavan. The 1652 Commonwealth Survey lists the proprietor the Lord of Cavan, i.e. Charles Lambart, 1st Earl of Cavan. The 1790 Cavan Carvags list spells the name as Keenagh. An 1809 map of ecclesiastical lands in Templeport depicts Keenagh as still belonging to the Anglican Church of Ireland. The tenants on the land were Felix Rourke, William Kernan, Philip Plunkett, and James Plunkett. In the 1825 registry of freeholders for County Cavan, there were two freeholders registered in Keenagh, Philip Plunkett and John Plunkett. They were both 40-shilling freeholders holding a lease for lives from their landlord, Nathaniel Sneyd MP of Ballaconnell. Their residence was in Keenagh, but their freehold was in Gertrude. The tithe allotment books for 1827 list 8 tithe-payers in the townland. The Keenagh Valuation Office field books are available for November 1839. Griffith's valuation of 1857 lists 10 landholders in the townland. Census. In the 1901 census of Ireland, there are 3 families listed in the townland. In the 1911 census of Ireland, there are still 3 families listed in the townland. Antiquities. The chief structures of historical interest in the townland are an earthen ring fort, a footstick over the stream,